Why do people cheat? Cheating is a topic that sparks intense emotions, from betrayal and heartbreak to anger and confusion. But why do people cheat? This question has fascinated and frustrated me for most of my adult life. And while I do not condone cheating, I believe it's important to understand, not to excuse it, but to gain insight into why it happens and what it reveals about relationships. My early views on love and loyalty. In my early 20s, I was deeply romantic. I believed in soulmates, love at first sight, and the idea that true love was unbreakable. My parents and grandparents had long, loyal marriages, so for me, cheating was an incomprehensible betrayal. But reality didn't match my idealistic vision. I learned that love wasn't just about passion and commitment, it was also about communication, emotional fulfillment, and respect. When those things are missing, people make choices that they might never have imagined making. My first encounter with infidelity, my first serious relationship was my first encounter with infidelity. My first serious relationship was toxic in ways I didn't fully understand at the time. When I found out that my boyfriend had cheated, I was devastated. He had been with an ex girlfriend, and I only discovered it because of an unmistakable clue she left behind. I couldn't look at him the same way again. That experience cemented my belief. If someone cheats once, they'll do it again. So I walked away. The gray areas of cheating. Fast forward to over a decade later, and I found myself in a long term, long distance relationship that was crumbling. I was putting in all the effort, yet I always felt like an afterthought. Meanwhile, I had a friend who was always there, someone who listened, someone who made me feel valued. Over time, feelings developed. One night, lines were crossed, and though I didn't plan on it, I had cheated. I wasn't proud of it. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But in the moment, it became clear. I had already emotionally left my relationship long before that night happened. So, why do people cheat? Sometimes it's not about lust or malice, it's about emotional starvation, unmet needs, or even a subconscious cry for change. Being on the other side of cheating. Then came the most painful lesson of all. I fell madly in love, only to discover I was unknowingly the other woman. The man I adored had lied to me. He was married all along. I had unknowingly become what I had once despised. The betrayal shattered me, but I was also forced to question everything I thought I knew about infidelity. Was he a terrible person, or was he stuck in a life that no longer fit for him? Did he love his wife but feel trapped? Was he just selfish? The answers weren't as black and white as I once believed. Understanding why people cheat. Society paints cheaters as villains, but real life is far much more complex. Here are some of the biggest reasons that people cheat. Emotional neglect. Feeling invisible, unloved, or unappreciated in a relationship can push people towards someone who sees and values them. Lack of intimacy. Physical and emotional closeness are essential. When they disappear, people seek them elsewhere. Boredom and routine. Some people crave excitement and novelty, especially when relationships become monotonous. Unrealistic expectations. The idea that one person can fulfill all of our needs forever is deeply ingrained, but rarely realistic. Avoiding conflict instead of facing issues. Some escape in the arms of another person. Opportunity and temptation. Sometimes people cheat simply because the opportunity presents itself and they lack the willpower of commitment to resist. What about gender differences? We often hear that men cheat more than women, but studies suggest the gap is closing. Historically, women had fewer opportunities and greater societal consequences for infidelity. But as gender roles evolve, so do relationship dynamics. Women often cheat for emotional reasons, seeking deeper connection and validation, whereas men are more likely to cheat for physical reasons. However, generalizations don't apply to everyone. Cheating is always personal and situational. What's the right approach to relationships? The answer isn't monogamy or non-monogamy. It's honesty. If you're unhappy, communicate. If you can't stay faithful, be upfront about it. If your needs aren't being met, work on them together or consider leaving before cheating becomes an option. Because here's the truth. Cheating doesn't solve problems, it creates new ones. If you feel tempted, ask yourself why. If you've been cheated on, know that it's not about your worth, it's about their choices. Final thoughts. Cheating is not excusable, but it is understandable. If we want to build better relationships, we need to talk openly about these issues without shame, without judgment, but with the willingness to listen and learn. So, what do you think? Can we have an honest conversation about cheating without making a black and white issue out of it? Let me know in the comments below.